I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Good evening.
That's a new one.
As part of our public comment, we'll have a presentation by the school board on the up-and-coming budget.
Hot topic for everyone.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to thank the town for giving us a few minutes just to come and talk to all of you, everybody in the audience and the community at home, talk about the Highlands Falls Fort Montgomery Central School District 24-25 budget. So for those who don't know, the polls open on May 21st at 6 a.m. at the Highlands Falls Intermediate School right in the lobby, and it's open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we hope that regardless of whatever information you get, that we want people to come out, make the best decision that they feel comfortable doing, and and we'll go from there. So, so the elephant in the room is, the district, like many districts throughout this country. I just saw CNN put something out, a local news channel as well put something out, that there are cuts taking place in education, and we're no different this year. We used allocated grant money from the federal government. It was COVID for COVID money. We had hired multiple positions to support our students. That money is running out at the end of the school year, so by August the money will be out, and so those positions were never in our general fund, our budget. So when the grant money expires, unfortunately, we will not be able to bring 4 of those positions in. So although we didn't cut those positions out of the general budget, we were unable to bring them in due to our budgetary constraints that we're facing due to a number of things. Federal government, our money's been flat for many years. New York State, we originally were supposed to get X, and we got X minus $183,000, and our tuition enrollment is down. So when you don't have that revenue source coming in and at least meeting what inflation is and the driving costs, unfortunately we had to make some difficult decisions. We had to cut back on our equipment and materials lines, and if anybody gets my emails and phone calls, sometimes on a daily basis, we've had some HVAC issues this year. We had our hot water system go at the intermediate school about 2 weeks ago. We had to get that up and running in under 36 hours because you can't run a school without hot water. And something like that, for example, was over $10,000. And so these things happen. But we prioritized keeping as many positions as we could in the budget. So we cut back on equipment lines, small project lines. We pulled back on some other things, material supplies, professional development. But at the end of the day, we did have to actually cut one full-time position and a part-time position as well out of the budget to make sure that we were being fiscally responsible for our taxpayers. At the end of the day, we don't want to make those decisions. We want to keep all the program we can, but those decisions had to be made because we have an obligation to the community to put out a fiscally responsible budget each year. We're still confident that everything that we have is going to support our kids. We're going to have to get creative in some of our areas, but I have a lot of confidence in our faculty, staff, and administration that we'll continue to put out the best program in Orange County, and I feel confident about that. So I'll get down into the numbers now, but I just wanted to just go over that and get that out to the public about those tough decisions we had to make. So our proposed budget is $39,995,141. Our tax levy increase is 1.91%. Our budget to budget increase is 2.46%, which is under inflation. In a normal year, that'd be a good thing. But again, I had to outline some tough decisions we had to make. So, in order to get that, we had to make those budget cuts. So overall dollar amount that from budget to budget year to year is about $958,000. I will say $850,000, give or take a couple dollars here, that all went to programming. So, the money that we did increase the budget, a majority of it went to programming. A little bit went to other things, inflation costs.
And inflation costs, predominantly insurance increases we've seen over the last year or so. is really the key piece, and also some BOCES administrative costs that we have increasing in line with BOCES creating their capital project for their location over there. Nothing here locally, that's the one over in Goshen, the work they're doing there.
So, like I said, with the tax levy increase of 1.91%, if you have a home of about $250,000, it'll cost $8.81 a month. The tax, thank you. Thank you. Assessed, yes, thank you. But I got my people on both sides because, you know, I go through this, but they catch me every time. I appreciate that, yes. So, house value to assess that $250,000, it'd be $8.81 a month or $106 for the year. So, a $500,000 assessed house would be about $212 a year. So, again, you know, we kept in mind that our community is still reeling from the flooding, still reeling from inflation, and we did everything we could to make sure that we didn't burden the taxpayers more than we needed to. You know, we feel good about these numbers. It's tough because we're increasing taxes, but we think we did a fair job for our community. So, you know, talking about, everybody says, well, what happens if the budget doesn't pass? So there's two options. So option one is to take the budget to a revote. But districts who typically go to a revote, they're cutting something out of the budget. Very few districts will say, well, we'll raise the budget. Well, the taxpayers aren't saying that. So if we were to do that, though, to go to a revote or another budget vote, it would cost the district about $10,000 to $15,000 because that's what it takes to put on a budget vote. It's very cumbersome and expensive. So that would come into play before the board made a final decision if we would go into an additional budget vote. The other option is contingency. And what contingency means is we can't raise taxes from the year before. So that 1.91% tax levy increase or $219,000 would be cut back from our budget. So we would have to find $219,000 to take out of a budget that we already know is tight. And that's something we don't want to do. On top of that, when you go to contingency, the state mandates that you have to also charge municipalities to use your fields, your facilities. So things like rec would have to pay to use our gymnasiums, our beautiful playing fields. I mean, the lacrosse kids are up there playing right now. It's great to see. It's not something we'd want to do, but it's something that the state tells us we have to do. Not only rec, but we're looking at the Connect program would be impacted as well because they utilize our facilities and we have a great partnership with them. They support our kids grades 3 through 8, but we would have to charge municipalities or nonprofits as well for that. To make matters a little bit worse, because we do get federal money because the federal government owns land throughout this community. I don't have to go into that too much detail. We're all aware of that. So we get something called an I payment, which is $1.2 million that the federal grant awards us if we meet something called an MOE, maintenance of effort. And I won't bore you with the formula that the government came up with, but basically we have to year by year show an increase in spending. And one of the key drivers of that formula is your increase in taxes. So to not put out taxes due to contingency or roll it back would jeopardize that $1.2 million. So contingency would actually have the possibility of cutting the district by 1.4, adding the $219,000 to the 1.2 million. And I can tell you firsthand, you know, nobody wants to be in that position where we're looking to find $1.4 million because we struggled to find the money we had to make the initial cuts. So am I missing anything, Ann or Mr. Carvalho?
Well, just 2 things. One is that
And please step up to the mic.
we already know that the village or the town doesn't have the money to cover rec. So I can't imagine not having a recreation program for our children, not being able to let them have basketball or soccer or baseball and that's going on now. The Connect program would be heartbreaking to charge. I'm not sure that AOG or anyone could cover the fees that we'd have to charge to use that building. So that in and of itself makes me very, very sad, having to make the cuts we had to make. I will tell not just the people sitting here, because some of you already know what it was like, but the past 2 years, we've had to jump through hoops. We spent hours and hours, not only on the phone with our lovely people in the government, but giving them tons and tons of data to fight for our I-payment because we've come very, very close to our maintenance of effort number. We haven't in years, but the past couple of years with our 0% increase that we've put out, in addition to our tight budgets, we've had to fight for it. So I would say there's well over a 70% chance that we'd lose our I-payment if we went on contingency.
It's something I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to even take a chance with, because there'd be a very big chance. And we would have I don't know, I mean, it would be a major cut to program if we'd have to find 1.2 million plus the 219,000. So I just think that people need to understand that. Some people take it as, oh, you're up here threatening us. No, we're not. We're saying reality. This is reality now. We see what, we didn't ask for the flood. We didn't ask for the
Earthquake.
The earthquake caused damage at
That's
our
right.
schools, if people can believe it. One of our schools, right now, we're looking at some potential damage that it might have caused. So we all are in the same boat here. We all worked really hard. You guys worked really hard on your budget, village. We know where we all stand. We did our best. So we just need to work together as a community and really try to get our budget passed for the students. And understand we did our best to keep it as low as we could. And if anyone has any questions, please reach out and not just assume things, because we've tried to clear up a lot of misconceptions that were out there about our budget that we've heard. So we've tried to clear as much misconceptions as we could. If I missed anything.
No, I think just to hammer home the I-payment, we didn't get it till June 30th last year.
The last day, school was closed.
Yeah, it took 6 months to fight for that, and even this past year, we got it in early March, but we had to go back and forth with them for 2 months because they said we didn't meet it, and we had to prove and get documentation and data to even push it over the edge. So it's a yearly battle the last couple of years, for sure.
One we've never really had to fight to get. The numbers were there, so, it's pretty much a given if we go on contingency, we won't get that, and that'll be detrimental, so.
Got a question for you in regards to Connect. After-school program, free for the community members.
Yes.
So the organization that is putting that thing on, although they're delivering a service for free to the community, that's needed, because we're talking lots of folks are working and doing things and they can't pick their kids up right away, and so then they would be charged if we didn't pass this budget.
The Connect program would be charged because we're not allowed to, it's because it doesn't come from us, it comes from New York State.
Right.
It says you cannot allow any non-for-profit organizations to use your buildings for free because you are on a contingency budget, because your voters said you have to be on contingency, so you have to be very strict with the money that your charge, that you have, so you cannot spend anything on any extra money whatsoever, which includes heat, electricity, lighting your buildings, paying your custodians, anything like that, because your community has decided that you are on a tight budget.
Down to toilet paper and paper towels.
The negative impact of not voting the budget is greater than agreeing to the budget. I've heard your presentation 4 times now, and no, I'm grateful that I've heard it, because
Hopefully we're getting
as a taxpayer, no, you guys are, I mean that as a compliment, because the thing that drives home is that contingency budget, which just throws things into greater turmoil than the tax increase, which is what is the cost again? I mean, like you said, you lose so much because then you have to charge for this, that, and whatever.
It's like our children, like, the worst thing we could do is start having our children out on the streets again. Like, our recreation program has come so far, and like, to see our children out on the streets, even in the winter time, like, instead of playing the basketball and doing all these things, like, we have to have that, especially in this day and age. We have to have it.
Can you talk?
That's the reason I asked that question, because I've been over there to visit Connect, and so when school is out, they go into a program that allows for not only a little recreation, but snacks, and then academic extra work for those people who need extra work, and then some other areas that they can enhance their academic skills. So you're talking about the holistic approach to really developing young people, and rather than letting them sit at home, watch TV, wait for their parents to get home, or like you said, walk around the street, play video games. I don't know if it can get any better than Connect. So certainly I'm saying to the parents and the people at home, the taxpayers, don't want to lose that one and the others that you mentioned.
Yeah, if you think about it, our kids have a wonderful opportunity from 7:45 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night to be fed, educated, have fun, but also, the basics, being loved and supported while their parents are working hard to put food on their table. So our educational program is top-notch, and then to be supplemented and supported by Connect, then the rec department as well. I mean, you want to talk about a community, I mean, that's a whole community right there, and it's special.
Many of our kids, many of our kids during the winter time go right from Connect into play basketball for their teams, right into the gym. I just want to say that because I've seen it.
Oh, you're painting a great picture. Thank you so much.
One last question too. I mean, we all know we're all waiting for FEMA money. And who knows how long we're going to wait for FEMA money? Could you make a statement about what the impact of money and FEMA, what you're waiting for, and what your cost out of pocket has done to your budget as well?
Yeah, it took we had to take $1.5 million out of our fund balance to pay bills that we've had so far, to pay bills that we've had to pay towards the damage from the flood. Now, right now, our people say, oh, you have your savings account, you have your fund balance, and our fund balance right now, help me? 4.4 million. We know what the federal government, the state they're in right now, every year gets harder and harder and harder for our impact aid. We get a total of 3.4 million dollars from impact aid. This year we had to wait for our impact aid, one of our payments, not just our payment, our other one. We were very, very nervous. What's going on? We already know what's going on in Washington. I don't need to tell you. We always have to keep that money in our fund balance because God forbid, gosh forbid, we do not get that next year. We have to have that money in there to keep our doors open. We're at that point now. We cannot take any more money out of our fund balance. And when I say we can't, we do not want to, because we could be in a boatload of trouble if we do. So we cannot take it. We should not take any more money. I can't say we can't because that's not up to us, but we shouldn't take any more money out of our fund balance to fund anything else, because not with the condition of the federal government right now.
Yeah, and our total is over $3 million in damages, and it's continuing to go up just like everybody here knows. I mean, we find something's wrong on a daily basis, and now we're trying to click on the air conditioning units that we don't have throughout the district, but in key areas, and we're finding issues with that, just like we found issues with our heating, and so...
Every day we're answering FEMA's questions, as you know. Yeah. Every single solitary day we're answering FEMA's questions to get them everything they want, but you know how long it's going to take. Fellow school districts in Westchester are still waiting for their money from 2 years ago, or whenever that was, 3 years ago when they had damage. So we're still waiting. We know we're not going to get the money right away. We know it, but we're doing everything we can. So thank you for bringing that up.
Everything theoretical you talked about is not theoretical for Ann. She's been through it. When I was on that board, I was appointed in 2008. In 2009, we had a meeting to talk about putting a new building on Fickens Field. I don't know if you remember it, Ann, or not. We were looking for what to do. Then came springtime, and then came some serious things in the community which resulted in going to contingency. Remember, we had to cut $450,000. We had a universal pre-K program. We paid 90 grand, the government paid 90 grand. We eliminated it. We eliminated hockey and a whole bunch of other things. We closed the school. We eliminated a principal, and we either laid off 11% of the workforce or 11 people. I know the number was 11.
That's the last time we laid people off.
Yep.
We brought that up. That's the last time.
And it was very harsh. And in regard to the I-payment, there's people that will watch this from Texas and from Illinois that are in competition for your impact aid for the 240 districts. Is it 7002? I forget the number. 7002. And they're in competition. And we, whether you like him or not, Chuck Schumer is the reason for impact aid and the I-payment being the success it is. When he goes away, things are going to change. You wait and see.
That's why we go every single time that we can. We go to the meetings. And I said it to the community, and I'll say it again. We are even cutting back now. We have to cut back, as sad as it is. I'm not going to the meeting in June, and who else isn't going? Chris isn't going to the meeting in June.
Okay.
We don't have the money.
Okay.
Isn't that sad?
It is.
But I'm still going to go to the Washington DC meetings as a board member and a community member. But this is what it's come to with
Yeah.
our budget. We are making cuts wherever we possibly can, because we're all taking our part, playing our part.
One
So we're
final
not
plug
messing
for
around.
Ann. When we went to contingency, and she's right, you can't do all these things, she helped co-chair a booster club that made it possible for the kids to do a whole bunch of effort in fundraising privately. Wouldn't want to have to go through that again, so.
Want to, but we'll do whatever we can. But that's what I'm saying, we're all playing our part to save money where we can. So the community, please, please, if you can, in your right heart, please try to support the children. That's all we're asking.
And again, that vote is Tuesday, the 21st, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the intermediate school. And I think there's
Questions?
a band concert that night too, is there not?
Yes, there is,
Yes.
yes.
So you can get a little entertainment if you go vote in the evening hours. I heard about that. Okay.
So thank you, everybody, and again, thank you for your time. And Mrs. Pitt, thank you for listening again for the time.
I think she has Joe beat, yeah.
Oh, MJ's gonna be doing everything.
Thank you, thank you. Hope
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, no, thank you, man.
Yes, thank you. One of your officers told me the other day, he was great. Thank you. Oh, take care.
Okay, public comment, I don't see anybody out there for public comment. So previous minutes of April 22nd, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I read them today. I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Transferred $51,439 from the consolidated account to the paying account. The larger items were Vanadowski Home Improvements, $13,000. KS State Bank, $11,922. I don't know what that is. What's KS State Bank?
It was the police lease payment for a car.
Oh, okay, all right. Office of State Comptroller, $6,413. Royal Carting Service, $2,741. Then I also transferred another $42,547 from the consolidated account to the paying account. This covers the following checks: MVP Healthcare, $17,586. MVP Healthcare, $23,758. And CDPHP Dental Insurance, $1,202. Okay, board liaison reports. Councilwoman Swarbrick, please.
Sure. I think that Rich will probably cover if there's any more building stuff, because there hasn't been any other meetings since, because I had missed the last meeting here. So good evening, everybody, and everybody at home. So basically, what I have is report from the ambulance corps. They had 2 missed calls in March, 40 that they made, 2 that were missed. And when they missed the calls in March, ambulance 386 was already on a call, and 385, the other unit, was out of service at the time. It was handled by New Windsor Cornwall Ambulance. And another one, there was no driver available, and that was handled by Cornwall New Windsor Ambulance. 49 calls total for April, and all of those were made. 386, so the 2 units, 1 unit is out a little more longer term. 385 is being worked on right now and hopefully back by the middle of this week. And Jeff reported, so he gave me a little status report that he emailed to Michael Biggs today, because they are wanting to give a charge, because they're coming down from New Windsor, Cornwall. So they are covering calls right now. There'll probably be some more discussion about that. Our crew is still first responding in the fly car to calls there. Kelly, Jeff said that he would be handing bills to you for reimbursement from FEMA, for FEMA funds, whether we get reimbursed by them or not. He has them to give to you. He reports that the contractor down at the building hasn't finished everything on the ambulance side, painting parts in area of the bay or the bathroom, so I'll have him, he'll come back to whomever to report if there's more that needs to be done. I'm not sure what the contractor, if the contractor thinks that they're done.
You should probably just check the quote.
Okay.
See what's on the quote.
All right, good. I'll do that. And their installation party will be at Round Pond on the 8th of June. Otherwise, I was at, I don't know if you plan to talk about it, but on Saturday, the Donna Donaldson Sensory Garden was dedicated. And that is on the side of the senior center, and it was an outstanding day. It was a beautiful ceremony, short, it was joyful. There were a ton of people there. Of course, most of them were related to the Donaldsons because they have a very large family. But it was really a good time, and Jennifer Gargiulo was really kind of the heart and soul behind that and gave some thanks to the folks, and so I don't even want to start mentioning them because I will forget somebody. But it was a great day. And also, last Wednesday, got to go to the induction ceremony for the National Junior Honor Society, and that was at the intermediate school. And those were for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that were inducted in, which also kind of tied into the garden because Haley Adams, who goes to, about to graduate from O'Neill, was the keynote speaker for them. And I don't remember ever having that kind of poise. And she was fantastic. So Haley, I've told you already, but everyone, it was really a fantastic presentation. And it just kind of makes you feel good about the future, that there are kids. And they talked about the pillars of service and academics and everything that gets you into the National Honor Society at that level. And so that was pretty good. So there was a lot of good things that were happening out here as well. So that's what I have to report.
Let me just add to the ambulance corps. New Windsor, you may see a Cornwall on an ambulance.
Yeah.
They are covering for us. It doesn't come cheap, though. It's anywhere from $2,000 to $1,000 a day for their coverage down here, but that's the in-house coverage.
Right.
Where they bring their ambulance down and their crew. So I'm just...
So I think we're at 1,000 now, and they're supposed to be in they're manning it here.
Yeah. So just to explain, there's no Town of Highlands ambulance out there right now. It's from either Cornwall or New Windsor.
Right. Yeah, every time I've seen them come by on Mountain Avenue, it's Cornwall. It's the Cornwall rig that comes down.
But it is what it is. Our two ambulances are broken down. One of them is old enough to be replaced. The other one is halfway there. If we were to order an ambulance today, it would take approximately 1.5 to 2 years to get the ambulance. Plus, I think the number is about $250,000 for an ambulance.
Yes.
So that's the kind of deals or numbers we're dealing with. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Councilman DeWitt.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. Everybody had a great Mother's Day. The past few weeks have been pretty busy around here with business, community service. Democratic Party hosted a highway cleanup, but it was attended by Republicans and Rotarians and a few other community people. It's amazing how much garbage is on the side of the road. I walk Old State Road, but a lot of good efforts to try to keep our community clean. It was a really nice day. And again, if anybody feels like doing any community service, our local food banks are always looking for people to help out. We did a 3,400-pound food pickup today alone for the food bank at Sacred Heart. And both the food banks at Sacred Heart and Holy Innocents service I think they're over 100 families a day when they're open. So if you want to give them a hand, please do. I'm looking around. It's everybody on camera. There's nobody out here tonight. I attended the coalition meeting at O'Neill High School. I think that's the second time it was mostly dominated by the school board presenting their budget request. And again, all the facts you heard tonight, they went through with us at the coalition meeting. Again, the importance to vote and hopefully have your support to pass the budget. Because like I said, from everything we seem to hear, the negative impact of the budget not passing is far worse. Again, that vote is coming up on Tuesday. Thank you, MJ. 21st between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. at the intermediate school on Mountain Avenue. Last Sunday, even though it was raining, we had a fun Cinco de Mayo festival here in town. It was still a pretty good rainy success, and it's just one of the many things that you're going to see coming up in our community I give a lot of credit to our new reorganized Chamber of Commerce, people working really hard to unify businesses and bring some energy and fun things to the community. And Ty, I know you could go on about that too with other recognition things like Juneteenth coming up, et cetera, et cetera. Last Monday, met with Mr. Tim Donovan. He represents a company called the Hudson Sky Ropes. It is his company, and he's been contracted by the MWR to run Long Pond. My understanding is the contract is for 5 years. One of the things he's doing out there is he has a thing called Widbits, and they're the big floating water parks. There's two of them, a sport one for big kids like us, and then there's a smaller one for juniors, 7 years and younger. To use them at Long Pond, you have to make a reservation online. We will have a link in our recreation area of our town website very soon. We are talking to Tim about a few things, which I don't know what we can do to help him with a lot of things this year, maybe next. But again, Long Pond will be opening up to all of the town of Highlands in the next couple of weeks. And the fees are pretty much the same as they've always been, $5 a day per person, $4 for seniors. They'll have a 10-visit punch card for $40, family passes for $100 for the whole family. Again, we'll have more posted for you on our website. Where else am I going here? Congrats too. Last week, Brooks's Pond, the baseball field reopened and hosted the girls softball, correct? Yeah. Our first softball game, and I really, our DPW crew, Aaron Falk, and and Greg Marr and all the DPW, they worked really hard and have been working really hard on prepping that field. The damage, it became a swamp, basically post-flood, and there's been trenches and draining and trees cut down and a lot of improvements. So again, the crew really worked hard to get the field up and running, and I'm really, really happy to say.
You know what, Joe, as hard as they worked down there,
Yeah, Bob.
they were proud of the job that they did down there. I mean, they're out there toiling in the dirt and the wetness and what have you. But they were proud of the way it came out.
Good.
And I'm proud of them.
Well said. Enough said on that. Thank you, Bob. They really do a good job. Cemetery crew has gotten together. Again, we're looking I know we have a contractor mowing all our cemeteries, so you should see them keeping up to good par. A few weeks ago, though, a past resident wrote an editorial in the Town of Highlands paper, pretty much saying what great disrepair Peacedale Cemetery was in. I wrote her an email and explained to her that a lot of cemeteries in New York State alone are abandoned, and our cemeteries are not abandoned. We do as best we can to keep them up to par. And I think the lady who had wrote the editorial, she just happened to visit Peacedale after a very wet spring, and I think it literally was 2 days before its first cut. And when I drove in there right after I read her editorial, and the cemetery, Peacedale, looked really nice, and I think the new crew is doing a good job. So regarding that, I'd just like to say to anybody in our community, if you see something, say something. We encourage it. Come to us first. Come to a town official, come to the town hall, come to a board member. Bring us a complaint first before, I want to say, skewer us on an editorial. That might be a little harsh, but give us a chance to address whatever situation you had. You got a bunch of good ears sitting up here and a crew of town hall and community service that we really do listen and would like to hear from you directly. Give us a chance first before taking us down with an editorial. Again, she wasn't that impolite, but it was just, like I said, we do take pride in that. Attended the Cliff meeting, the Community Leaders Information Forum this week. I want to really give a shout out to Dee Marino and Sally Dorsch, who again are, spearheading the recreation of the Town of Highlands Chamber of Commerce. They've been attending the Cliff meetings every time to keep up with relationships with West Point. As we know, AOG is making a lot of investment around here, and they've been working with them to, just to kind of keep on top of things and keep our relationship with our neighbors next door and our community up to speed. So again, Dee and Sally are doing a lot to keep up with all things Town of Highlands. People want to join the chamber. They meet every second Monday. They meet at 9:30 at the Park Restaurant, and they meet at 5:30, which was tonight, at Holy Innocents. So again, if you want to join the chamber, just go to their meetings. They have a whole fee schedule. Love to see you. Yes.
I'm not sure those locations are the same
Oh, are they going to change? They're not stable. Okay.
days.
That's for today's only. Okay, thanks. MJ here again to correct all my missteps. Thank you. No, please, thank you for shouting it all out. Final thing I want to mention is the Town of Highlands United Youth Group. They got a few things coming up. There's a comedy night on Saturday, May 25th, and it's a fundraiser to benefit the 3rd Annual Community Family Fun Day, which is coming up on June 1st. Thank you. So a couple of good events. A comedy night, which is going to be held at the American Legion. It's a $25 fee, starts at 8 o'clock. For more information, you can reach out to 845-521-5364. Please support them. Guaranteed it'll be a fun night here if you're home on that Saturday. And again, the 3rd Annual Community Family Fun Day is coming up. That's going to be held at the Intermediate School on Mountain Avenue. And again, that's June 1st from 11 to 4. Talent show, food trucks, activities, great family day. I definitely encourage you, if you're come out with your kids and enjoy the family fun day. Again, the Town of Highlands United Youth Group putting that on. And with that, I know we have other topics coming up under general business, but that's it for now. Thank you.
You mentioned Sally Dorsch and the chamber and the group. I'm sure everybody by now has noticed the pictures in all the storefront windows
Oh,
of
right.
the
Thank you.
graduating class.
They did a really nice job.
They did a great job on it. I like the idea they don't have the names of the kids on there. That protects them from certain things that could happen.
And they're redoing the military banner program, too.
Yeah.
They're working on that. If we have more information, I'll pass it
The
along. to you
pictures of
next
the
time.
graduates will be taken down the day before graduation and put in the gym for their bash. And then after the bash, they can take them all home. So, and the financing of that was done by an anonymous benefactor.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bud.
Councilman King.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, everyone at home. And so, a few notes here. One, I want to talk about the Town of Highlands Special Events Committee. I mentioned this several months ago that we were intending to create a committee that synchronizes several of the events that happen throughout the year. Well, that committee is now alive and well. Another of the accolades of Ms. Di Marino, Ms. Sally Dorsch, and Miss newcomers, Miss Avernice Reed, who our thoughts and prayers go out to as she's in the hospital right now. But the fact of the matter is they've been working hard to collaborate together. So if one was doing Family Fun Day last year and then another was doing Juneteenth this year, well, those folks are now working together to accomplish both of those at the same level of standard. So that being said, the first up is a fundraiser by the Town of Highlands Special Events Committee for Juneteenth. And that fundraiser is in conjunction with Grandma's Pizza and Bagels, 265 Main Street, Highland Falls, New York, upstairs, brunch and brushes, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., $25 per person. Now, again, this is a independent operator. This is not the town raising money.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
saw you grab your mic, and so in the peripheral of my eye, I just saw you grab the microphone, and it seared such an impact on my brain, I had to say something.
Sorry,
You're getting
Councilman.
legal correction, I'm only getting editorial correction.
He didn't have to say anything. It's subliminal. So yes, this is a organization that is not the Town of Highlands, but what they represent themselves, and they now want to impact in a positive way the town. So that's the Special Events Committee fundraiser on 18 May, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Grandma's Pizza. Another one is the Town of Highland Chamber of Commerce is having the Art Walk 2024 in Highland Falls. Fresh air, art appreciation, free to the public. I'm glad fresh air is still free these days. And so I don't see the date. It's just scanned me on there. Anybody know the date? I must get that one back to you then. And so you already talked about the comedy night there, Brother Joe, but I see the Fish On. You didn't talk about that one. It says the Village of Highland Falls has a Fish On Children's Fishing Derby. Boy, those were fun. I remember when I was a kid, we used to have those. Saturday, June 8th, Roe Park. Registration, 8 a.m. Start time, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Open to all children, 4 years old through 15. Must be accompanied by an adult. Rain or shine, the fish don't mind. That's a nice little flyer. Okay. Yeah, I was at the Chamber of Commerce meeting today, Councilman DeWitt, and so what I recall of that meeting is a lot of good energy there, a lot of new energy, and I just want to say, first of all, thanks to the service for those who came before this group, because everyone who gave their time in the past and now are giving up their own free time, and so no slight to anyone in the past. We're saying this new group is coming together, energized, and trying to pick up the mantle and run with it. And one of the things I heard talked about quite a bit is the trails that we have in this community, particularly behind the MyTown Market, but that was just one of many. And the suggestion was if we were able to somehow make these trails a destination. You know, folks come here all over the place to get on trails, but we have some right in our backyard. And they may need a little improvement, though, to make them ready for folks. So that was one of the takeaways that I had. And then,
Well,
Who
did they
else?
talk about, is that the Allo property down below?
that was, if you want to follow up with that conversation, it was Mr., I think his name is John Willis. He's an avid runner or hiker or something. So he talked about this in great detail, he knows the details about all these trails that we're underutilizing the ones that we have.
Fair enough.
So that's the gist of it. Memorial Day. Memorial Day is coming quickly. It is May 27th, and we will have, as usual, led by Commander John Flynn, our Memorial Day service over at the Memorial Park on the corner of Mountain Avenue and Highland and Main Street at 10 a.m. It'll be a great program there. If you hadn't seen it, you surely are missing a sight, because he really does a great job putting together a wonderful Memorial Day program. So come on out if you're able and your schedule permits. And I think that's it. So now, that was a warm-up for the star of the show, and that's...
I'm proud of all of you. Joe took away 2 paragraphs, I don't even have to read it, so.
Did I step on your stuff, Rich? I'm
Councilman
sorry.
Sullivan, did you have anything for us tonight?
Maybe a couple things.
All right,
not
just
too much.
checking.
Unaccustomed.
So, no, I did email the entire town board and the entire village board on the matter of cemetery grass cutting and on the increased water rates, which I know we're going to discuss. I would like to thank Trustee DeSalvo for getting back to me. If you didn't see it, he reinforced that the water rates are increased are not going to go into effect until this fall, because we had sent our bills out before that, and that would have been a $20,000 deficit. So that has been changed anecdotally by Jimmy to the fall. On the grass cutting, not harping on anybody, that letter made reference to a previous supervisor who was more than 30 years ago managing these cemeteries in a much better fashion. The town has only owned them for the last 20 years, and the reason the town owns them is because they were in very bad shape. The town went down to Highland Union, they correct a lot of headstones. That's a tough one to cut, the one down by West Point Trailers. And so when I went to Peacedale, which was like a few days after that letter was written, the stones were all trimmed and weed whacked, and so was every other cemetery. So the decision was made to contract that out in lieu of hiring another highway employee, which we just did last year, 2 years ago. So I think it was a great decision, and I hope it works out. And we don't plant flowers, and we don't redo grass seed. We cut the grass. That's what we're doing up there. If there's anything more required, that would have to be discussion. It would be a project that is outside the purview of the landscaper. So that's on that. The cleanup that Joey was talking about, I don't like using the word I, but I did participate. I've done it a few times. So you had some Rotarians there, Battle Site Members Beautification, Olga's committee, the CEAC had people out there. I think the Garden Club might have had people out there. So enough on that. What I wanted to say is who the big winners are. Coors Light and Michelob Ultra were the big winners in my area, which was from Stoneleigh Lonesome to 293 on the west side of the highway up there. America has a culture problem. I've never thrown anything other than an apple core or banana peel out of my window. It's incredible how much stuff gets thrown out down through there.
You know what, and just to interrupt,
Yeah.
also disposable vape pens. I came,
And those little fireball things,
yeah.
a lot of those too.
I didn't know what they were.
Yep. So anyway, they all did a great job, and the last meeting I announced is something that was going to happen and did, which is on the 28th. 10 historical societies from southern part of Orange County at the invitation of the Woodbury historian Alex Przintes, who's a modern-day prodigy, had them there with things reflective of their history and their communities. There was Harriman, Tuxedo, Chester, Woodbury, Cornwall, and Monroe, and I'm sure I missed a few. Ronnie Coffee was there with some very nice displays. It was a very nice event. I saw a lot of people there from town. And there's another event coming up, which I'll mention at the next meeting. It's a milk bottle museum. I think it might be by appointment, and I'm not sure if it's full or not, but it's also out in Woodbury. And he came here about a year and a half ago to the library, and there's a local family that are related to the Gibneys, the Pavics. He had some bottles from them, and I think it's Ann Pavic attends some of these things, so rather interesting on that. So with the highway department, Joey kind of covered a good portion of it, for which I'm thankful. I know we're going to talk tonight about Bernie Cassidy's survey down there. I was up on Wyant Road with Greg. Wyant Road is still a mess, and it had a washout after the 7-9 storm. It may have had 2 of them. So I don't know a great deal about it, except to say that on this Wednesday, down at the sewer plant, we are looking very strongly now at the whole possibilities of enhancing the plant, what it will cost, can it be enhanced, possibly sending the trailer park flow to the village of Highland Falls if they're watching. We haven't talked yet. We know that. These are just thoughts coming out. So that will begin on Wednesday, and they're bringing in an outside firm to help them do that. And I told them we're not looking to build a Rolls Royce right now. We're looking for plausibility. John Russo will be down there. I'm going to take the morning off from work, and we're going to talk about Wyant Road and some of the other things, because Greg will be there, about what direction we need to go. And I know you've been up there seeing all those things, Bob, you know. Joey mentioned Brooks's Park. They did a good job down there. They're continuing to replace the 118 radio read meters with cellular. They're doing mine this Wednesday in my house, so I'll tell you how good of a job they do. I'll give you a full report. I'm sure I won't even be home when they come. And so we talked about the cemeteries, and I mentioned about the water, which we're going to discuss on the sewer. I sent everybody out an email on the sewer. Our DMR for this month, we're at 100%, okay? We had 120,000 gallons average per day. We did have 6.1 inches of rain. Just letting you know, there's no way to candy coat it. We are at 100% for this month. And the EPA, who didn't know who we were until a year and a half ago, Maury Lantner sent an email. They're concerned about what we have in TV cameraed in our system. We did 2/3 of the system. Dawn from Lincoln Tully retired. She left that information behind. I'm going to have John Russo pick that up and move forward with it. And as far as the budgeting, we budgeted $10,000 to put a roof on a building down at the sewer plant and $5,000 for camera inspection. We're going to have to not put the roof on this year if we want to keep this gentleman happy and TV camera the rest of the system. Like it or not, that's going to take priority, because they're not going to go away. They're just going to keep coming back until we satisfy them. On the water, for the month of April this year, we average 108,000 gallons per day, and in March we average 86,000 gallons per day. That's because of hydrant flushing. And they do, I don't know if it's semi-annual or quarterly tests on trihalomethanes, which they take out to the county for testing. And about 4 or 5 months ago, that caused some confusion, because the people in town got letters, but the people in the village didn't. And because we get our water from the village, people were concerned. Well, the Department of Health looks upon our system and the village system as 2 completely different things. And I have a feeling that storm that broke the water main down on 218 back in July had a lot to do with our test results the last time around. When the test results come back, I'll have a report them on the next meeting, and the public will know everything that's going on. And with the building department, I'm spending a good portion of the day with Philip tomorrow on certain matters. I've met with certain people and been involved with some things going on with the building department. So enough on that. What I wanted to lead into is, I know Nancy does planning and zoning. The Zoning Board of Appeals meets on the third Wednesday of the month here. Every decision they make requires a public hearing ultimately, and they have a public hearing on 915 Route 9W, the Garrison House in Fort Montgomery, this Wednesday night. And the planning board meets the third Thursday. I believe that they may have a couple of informals coming here, and I don't want to be inaccurate in saying who's coming. I would tell the public, come here at 7 o'clock, and you will know what's going on in your community. That's it.
Thank you, sir. That was quick.
You all did good tonight. I'm proud of all of you.
Okay, I have a few announcements before we get into the general business. First of all, Chief, you have anything for us?
I have our April stats. So for the month of April, we responded to 500 calls for service, 348 of which were directed patrols. We initiated 76 motor vehicle stops and issued 32 tickets. We responded to 6 cases, made 1 arrest, and handled 12 motor vehicle accidents.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay. The town board, anything?
I got a question. So this may not, I think this might have been Highland Falls. Was there an accident today in the circle as you come through, come off 9W going, like if you were going to turn into the circle to go to West Point?
There was a rollover. We assisted the village, but it was the village's accident.
Okay. Any injuries?
Unknown.
Okay.
While you're standing there, Chief, I'm sure you know.
I wasn't quick enough.
This is a good thing. This is a good thing. This is May 12th to the 18th, National Police Week.
Yes.
National Police Week. And Wednesday is National Police Officers Memorial Day. The President is requesting that everyone put their flags at half-mast, not just municipalities, but the folks that have flags in their yards and homes and what have you. And on behalf of myself and the town board, thank your men for their service.
I will. Thank you. Thank you.
The summer task force is here as of May the 10th. That means there's cadet training going on. You're going to hear more noise levels with their air assault school and their specialized training operations. There'll be low-flying aircraft, and the traffic along 293 will be a little bit busy with military vehicles, etc.
Do they have finite dates that they close Mine Road?
Yeah, the dates that Mine Road is closed is on our website, and it's also on Channel 23. No, not on our website?
No, I don't have the dates.
Okay, it will be on our website tomorrow.
Hold on, I have them.
Says, in addition, it's going to be closed May 22nd from 6:30 to 6:30. And the following days are May 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 26th, June 1st to the 7th, 9th to the 11th, 13th to the 15th, and the 20th to the 23rd.
Just in case you folks at home didn't get that, it will be on our website, and it is on Channel 23.
Channel 23.
For those that use the goat trail, and I see a lot on Facebook telling people what's going on, it's still one lane in each direction with an alternating traffic signal at Roa-Hook Road, and this is to facilitate the replacement of a culvert. That word culvert is coming in all over the place. I've never heard of a culvert before. Well, this year now, I know culverts. Wow. Good ones, big ones, cement ones, different kinds.
They're raising that road a foot or two, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
If you go through before 6:15 in the morning, the GO trail's not that bad. After that, it increases, but...
Okay, general business. Kelly, did you have anything? Okay. Our next meeting would be on Memorial Day. I'd like to recommend that we have it the day after Memorial Day. I'll sacrifice myself and close my business that night.
Let's make the motion, we have it the next day.
Okay. Seconded by?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a letter from Greg Marr, Town of Highlands Superintendent. He recommends Richard Jersey as a foreman with the department, effective immediately, which the letter is dated April the 23rd, so we could make this retroactive if the board agrees. So do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Richard Jersey as highway.
Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. This will include a one-year probation. 1 year probation.
On that note, we need to advertise for a mechanic.
Yes. I think, I'm pretty sure Greg is on that.
Okay.
I talked to him about that today, and he said he was going to advertise through the association or
Okay.
something like that. By the way, we did that real quick, and Richard Jersey will be paid according to the salary schedule as a foreman. Okay. Dial-a-bus. Debbie McCabe is our dial-a-bus driver. She will not be able to drive the bus for at least 6 weeks during a recovery from, I guess, an operation that she's going to have. She's having trouble finding a part-time person to take her place. We do have one part-time driver, but he has another job which makes his time kind of short for doing this job. So we face finding another part-time driver or shutting it down for this day, that day, whatever. So I'm going to open a can of worms and recommend that we raise the salary or the per hour rate for a part-time driver to the same as the full-time driver. That would be from $16.95 to $18.16. Now, for example, in Port Jervis, they pay their full-time driver $20.58, $18 for part-time. Town of Monroe, they don't have a part-time, but they pay $20 an hour for full-time. In Walk Hill, they pay $20 an hour for full-time and $19 an hour for part-time. Any discussion or comment?
So currently, we're the lowest in the part-time area?
In those three that June found out for me.
Yeah, okay, so I make the motion.
Now, I don't know if it'll make a difference, but I hope it will. And keep in mind that even though we're bringing the part-time, or we would bring the part-time up to a full-time salary, there's no benefits included in that. The full-time person does get benefits. Which, Kelly, did you figure out what that means?
I forgot to look at it.
Okay.
Sorry.
But ballpark? We love ballpark.
I don't like ballpark.
Oh, okay.
I can go look.
Okay. No, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I make the motion to increase the part-time person to what you said, 18?
18, 16.
1860.
Okay, motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried.
When is she out?
June the 18th to August the 17th.
I'm sorry, one more time, June 18th?
June 18th to August 17th. Oh, I can see it in your eyes what you're thinking.
Your mind. We go to school during that time and people get bored at home.
Okay, Lankin Tully has a RFP, I guess you would call it, a proposal for road drainage survey. Mr. Highway Liaison, what can you tell us about that?
So I was down there. I sent you all a preliminary thing, but I'm not a licensed surveyor, so that doesn't do much good, except to tell you what's down there. Lankin Tully is gonna take it a step further so they can design a solution, which we'll probably do in-house. Greg feels they have the time and the resources to do it. He was here. You've all gotten more emails than you want from me, about 7 pages worth with videos and everything else. They have to know what they have. So Justin did a little research. I know the easement allows us to go in there and work.
Correct.
But it doesn't give us a meets and bounds for there or for the adjoining properties and out onto Drew Road itself. So, and Drew Road is funny. When Charlie Anderson built it, it's 50 feet wide. The road is all the way to one side. So one side, it's up to people's, almost front doors, and the other side, the town owns quite a bit of land that people use in their yards. So the survey is necessary. I was a little bit disappointed in the price. A professional doesn't have to submit a bid for professional services, so that's that.
Okay, the price is $3,800. And any application fees, out-of-pocket expenses, and services contracted with outside suppliers incurred as part of the project will be billed at cost plus 15%. So I need a motion to allow the supervisor to sign the proposal.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Kelly, remind me to give this to you and we'll sign it up and send it in. Okay. That was good news, Joe, from you on the billing for the water. I think you said it, that.
Well,
Me?
Richard,
I said it, yeah.
He
Oh,
said,
you said that they're not going to
Jimmy
charge us.
DeSalvo,
Yeah,
okay, I'm
they're gonna
sorry.
charge us, but not now. The extra will come in, it'll go into effect in the fall, the next billing cycle.
Right.
Jimmy DeSalvo sent an email only to me that I shared with everybody else explaining that came from him, so.
Okay.
I got the
So,
new bill today,
and then you got the new bill today now.
water bill, revised water bill from the village.
Okay, and that includes the raise, or?
The original bill included the raise, the revised bill took it out, so it's $18,000 less.
Oh, okay, good, because I really, I wanted to take that in my own hands and go down there and talk to them about it, but I'm glad that they just.
So I just want to make a quick comment on that. I get myself in trouble with this village-town thing, so that's not what I mean to do. I just want to say, 39.5% is a big hit. And we already pay 150% more, and that's normal for any village. Cornwall does it if they sell it outside their boundaries. So in regard to town government, and I've seen comments about people think we should take over a ball field and all that stuff. So in my lifetime, there's only been 4 supervisors that are from Fort Montgomery. Right now, the planning board is 100% village people, and the zoning board has only 1 member from Fort Montgomery. I don't say that in disdain. I'm saying that because your town government has a village with double the population of the people outside the village, so the town board is heavily influenced and controlled by village people, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying this board couldn't be more pure, and I wish that I could say something about 39%, but I can't.
Okay, just to note, the base rate will increase from $132.50, that's on a base rate, to $198.75. And the rate for over 7,500 will remain the same at $6.94 per ton. Good. Good. MS4 program. I'm just going to touch on this because this is nuts. This is our state putting in this program called MS4. What the hell is MS4? Well, I just found out today. I finally looked it up. MS4, the M stands for municipal. And the S4 is separate storm sewer system. That amazed me when I saw that. I thought, holy mackerel. But anyway, they're changing their regulations. There's a report that used to go out every year, and there are certain things we had to do in order to file the report. Now they're coming out with a totally new program. And it's, I got a stack of this big of paperwork that we got to follow in order to do the reports and to keep records and stuff like that. It's crazy. And then there's this thing called, I think you could call it Speedy's report.
Yes.
Yeah. Does anybody know what that means?
Justin does.
State pollutant discharge elimination system. Now, if you violate this law,
I know this number.
they will fine you $37,500 a day and up to 15 years in prison.
Wow.
Who's got to go to prison? As long as it's not me.
Well, this would be for owner operators, and all contractors and subcontractors must comply with the terms and conditions of the permit. But getting back to MS4, we're going to work on it. I mean, obviously, we have no choice but to work on it. Greg is being very helpful so far. He's taken, actually, most of it comes out of his department, but it is really, it's crazy. It really is crazy. And the things that they want is like, you have to sweep your streets with a street sweeper, and then you have to document that when you did it. You have to document what came out of there and what you did with the stuff that came out of the sweeper itself. I mean, we almost have to hire another secretary or another MS4 operator person. Anybody want that job?
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Bob, the planning board has been doing this for years. I'm going to use an example of a textbook project. Dunkin' Donuts in Fort Montgomery, they had an escrow of $26,000 for inspection. Philip spent very little time there. The owner paid for those inspections, which included every week Trans Hudson Management, I think, sending an engineer there, taking photographs for compliance to the Speedy's permit that they had the whole way through the project. They had to do that every week. So the planning board's pretty good at implementing that stuff.
Very good. Good to hear.
One of my favorite lines, I say that facetiously, that came from that meeting Friday, was when John said, it's law. And when the state and the DEC's question about the law and how can we as communities, not violate the laws, their answer is, it's your problem. They designed this whole system with this, without any thought on how people are going to implement it. It seems like it's designed to bankrupt the community. It's horrible. Like I said, they'll bury you in paperwork. You'd have to hire 3 people to keep up with the paperwork alone.
And Justin, maybe you could explain this in this letter I have from each municipality has successfully submitted the initial notice of intent to the New York State DEC, acknowledging their participation in the program. I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, I don't recall anything specific, right? But you do have a speedies permit, right, for the sewer plant, and right, so at some point you have acknowledged it. As far as MS4, you've been participating for several years.
Right.
So that could have taken place.
I mean, just the way they put that there,
Yeah.
there's just...
Not even a sentence anyone can understand.
Something else that not too many people understand, and Councilman DeWitt will explain to everyone.
CCA?
Yeah.
All right, so as we know, we rolled out in the community a year and change ago the Community Choice Aggregate Energy Program, and it's about bringing renewable energy options to your electric bill. Well, of course, and this would go against all media training, but I'm just going to speak honestly. Of course, when the program came out, O&R dropped its rates incredibly, which made, if you looked at the CCA program from just a cost aspect, it was better to stick with O&R. Now, of course, with the CCA, and again, it's run by a company called Juul, for our program, there are environmental impact things that, are worth it the sum. Again, it's a balance of what you believe and et cetera. Well, the program needs to be, the contract needs to be renewed with the community. The reason I'm recommending that we renew is because basically things will stay status quo, meaning everybody, to make the program stick. Now, as people know, if you go into like a renewable energy program, you have to sign a contract or you have to pay a fee to get in. This project was free with the caveat that the whole community had to be opted in. And then if you did not want to stay in it, you had to opt out. Go online, click a few things. It upset a few people, but as of today, over 50% of the community, as I was told today by Hannah Karp-Chester, who called me twice today with information and answering my questions about the program, are still in it. And most people stick with the 100% renewables. Let me get to the bottom line. We renew the contract with it. It's there for people if they want it. It's a choice. You stay status quo. If you're in it, great, you'll be in it. They're going to get RFPs for new rates. They're going to search. Right now, the rates aren't great. Again, it's the balance of what you believe in energy and renewables. If you opted out, you stay opted out. That's permanent unless you opt yourself back in. The only people that would be opted in are new people flagged as new accounts, or if somebody made a name change, or if they moved within the community, then that account is flagged as a new account, and then they would be opted in. They will be notified by mail and about the program, and with the opportunity to opt out if they choose. But again, everybody else said it's been opted in or opted out with this first round a year and change ago. It stays the way it is. There's nothing new. With the RFPs and the charges that are coming up, there's no obligation to our community to take any one thing. Again, there are tiers or whatever within the program that you can choose from. So again, for lack of better words, the good part or the pain part of it has already happened. So if we renew the contract, it's there if people want to use it. Maybe O&R's prices spike one day. Maybe you want to source 100% renewable energy. You have this program to use, contract-free and fee-free, because that's what we did to bring it to the community to begin with. So again, because for the most part, except for the new accounts, it stays status quo to the end user. I say we stick with it, because again, it's an option, no harm, no foul. Any additional harm or foul to the existing customers.
Okay, I think we have two things we have to take care of.
Okay.
First one tonight is to allow them to do an RFP. That would be one thing. And then once we get the numbers from the RFP, then we would renew the contract or not.
Okay.
So I need a motion to allow them to do an RFP.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in
We have a
favor?
discussion?
Discussion.
There is no, again, with the RFP, Rich, there's no obligation.
I know.
Okay,
I'm gonna say my thing.
please.
I was heavily involved in this. Jeff Dumansky came here 15 different times at the library, at Village Hall. He came here. We had a town board meeting in March of 2 years ago where he made a 1-hour presentation from 6 to 7 o'clock. And so here's what I'm going to tell you, people out there in TV land, you shouldn't be there, you should be here. But people don't come to meetings anymore. They watch on TV and they don't really care if you have 100 meetings. What I found out through over 100 complaints is that people do not want us messing with their billing or opting in. They want to opt in themselves, which probably wouldn't draw the business. They don't want to be opted in automatically. So if this in any way, shape, or form mimics that, I can't support it. I'm not sure, this is just for pricing?
Just for pricing.
Okay, because it's for a year and a half. It's April that we started, so we're, 13 months into this now, so it's coming up pretty soon. I'll go along with tonight to let them get pricing, but beware when it's time to renew the contract. I have some, ambivalence. That's my comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Townwell, you're on again.
So,
Yes.
as we know, we've been doing a lot of work here in Town Hall. July 9th, I'm sure June could speak for hours about the basement alone, which is it done?
I believe so, getting
Humidifiers are going, it's nice down there, we could all live down there, we get meetings down there, it's so nice now, right? Okay. I know Mendowski team, they've done a great job down there. So with that, though, we've been sitting on a grant, an environmental grant, which we credit our friend Olga Anderson bringing our way in the environmental committee. So we got bids, and we're gonna vote tonight to agree, or put out, to a public referendum. The windows here on the town hall are ancient. They're dangerous. Most of them do not open, so we even struggle to bring fresh air into our employees to this courtroom. So New Beginnings, the company New Beginnings, they were the middle bid. They can do the whole front of the building, all the window replacements, and the cost for that is going to be $34,546.01. So I'd like to again put it up for the referendum. Let me phrase that right.
Now, how are we going to do this?
Yes.
Right. So, thank you, Kelly. She shared a note. But, so if you're looking to expend funds from the town hall repair reserve fund, you just have to hold a public hearing. So all you'd need to do is schedule your normal, you could vote to schedule the public hearing. We'll get a notice to Mary Jane for the paper, and you could, I don't have it with me today, obviously, I didn't know, but but it's just a normal public hearing.
Okay.
Before you authorize.
You're going to
that
handle the
expenditure.
notification and
Yeah, I can,
paperwork and what have you.
We could do the
So
public
it's
hearing
for-
for the next meeting?
you'd like it for the May 28th?
Yes, if we
meeting?
can.
Yep, yep.
Although-
But I won't get you the notice tomorrow morning, I'll get it a week from tomorrow morning.
So this week's paper is the 17th. The following week's paper would be the 24th. Is that
Okay,
correct?
so I'll get it to you for tomorrow morning.
1 p.m.
Okay, and
Sorry,
is it
1
May
p.m.?
28th or what's the date? Because our next meeting is,
I'll send it to June, she sends them to you.
Next meeting is May 28th.
28th, day after Memorial.
day after, okay, yeah, May 28th.
Okay,
Yeah.
June, I'll get you the notice in the morning.
So what deadline do you need for the paper then, on the 21st by noon?
It needs
Oh,
it
okay.
tomorrow by 1.
Okay, sorry, I'll stay out of it.
Okay, I have an agreement here from Empress.
Yeah, you got to do a motion to set that public hearing.
Okay.
Thank
Come on, it's your deal.
I'd like to make a motion for a public hearing for the window replacements here on Town Hall for the front of the building.
It's to expend, go ahead, Justin, sorry.
No, go ahead, Drew, you got it.
Please correct me.
To spend,
It's to spend funds from the Town Hall Repair Reserve Fund on the window project,
Thank you.
up to, I don't know how much the grant was for,
5,000.
so up to another 31,000?
No, it'd be 29,
Let's do 30.
30.
30,000 then, yeah.
Make the math easy.
All right.
I'm looking at the number, given I can do that.
That was the motion. All those in favor?
Yeah, second?
Thank you.
Do we need a roll call on that? I'm not sure.
But do we have a second?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
there we go. Okay, Empress Emergency Medical Service. This is an emergency or advanced life support agreement where our ambulance corps goes out and either 911 will dispatch EMS or will ask for EMS. This would be for a patient with extreme difficulties such as heart attacks, et cetera, et cetera. The paramedic intercepts are charged to the Town of Highlands Ambulance Corps at the rate of $508.84. I don't know why they do this 84 cents. Anyway, so I'll ask for a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Just one moment of discussion. I missed one thing here. Either party may elect to terminate this agreement at any time, providing formal written notice to the effect of 30 days prior. So it's not something we can't get out of. So roll call, please.
Sure, Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Schwarber?
Aye.
And Supervisor Lizzie?
Aye. The account clerk that works for the town in Kelly's office left us, so I'd like a motion to terminate Julia Gooden.
Motion.
Account.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so Kelly is looking for another one. Now, one other thing, I just want to get this squared away. We have a piece of paper that has basically nothing on it that says Willie Lanier has a single plot, row 340, column 22, so that we know. We don't know how much he paid for it, nor do we know when he paid anything for it. I would like to suggest that we take the cost of this plot, today's cost of the plot, and offer that to, I think it's his wife that's trying to get a double plot.
Yeah, his daughter is the one that inquired. His daughter inquired with Tiffany about this whole issue. So, but I concur with you so far, what you're saying.
So what we do is we declare this plot vacant and give a discount of the money to the double plot. That sounded right to everybody? I mean, we can't do better than this, and...
No, that sounds, I've talked to the daughter, by the way, and the intention was that they don't know when the father bought it, but now they're concerned about the father and mother.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to.
I think, just to add, just so everybody knows at home, I mean, the whole cemetery system is being computerized and updated, or has been, and it's always a work in progress, and this is one of the few cases, one of the only, actually, so far, that kind of fell through the cracks, and Lanier family, a longtime family here in Highland Falls, and, I mean, their word is as gold as anything else, and since all we have is one piece of paper, that's what's motivating us to do the right thing by them. And
So I put that in the form of a motion.
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Seniors, Health and Fitness Day, Orange County, Wednesday, May the 29th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Thomas Bull Memorial Park in the day camp area. Free day of health, fitness, and fun. A lot of stuff going on there. I'm not going to read it all, a whole bunch of stuff. Sounds, for me, a group walk in the park sounds like something I'd like to do there. And please bring a non-perishable food donation for the Office of Agents Food Pantry. Registration is required. I'll ask that we get this put on Channel 23, and you can have all the information as to who to call. With that, the town board have anything more?
I think that's enough.
Anybody, anything? No. Any questions from the newspaper?
I told my husband he should work for you this summer, but he sent me a whole big long rambling paragraph about Social Security, so I'm sorry.
I just made it affordable for him to work for us. I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.